bad.
Hey guys, just finished watching Black Lightning, Season 1, Episode 5, Ashes and Pain. This episode was really interesting. I mean, it was nothing super duper, nothing super boring type thing. I like the way they're doing it with this show. It doesn't feel like there's too much filler episodes at all, since we're getting really into, we only have 13 episodes type thing, so that's kind of cool with that. So the first part was really cool. At the beginning of the episode, we see that he can fly. And we just get that in this episode. It would have been nice to see teases of that. We got that in the trailer for this episode, but we didn't get anything setting this up. Like, we didn't see Gammy saying, "Oh, I'm working on a new feature for you. Maybe you can fly." I think that would have been a cool tease from the last episode. Because every way these episodes end, they just kind of end on their own. It's like there's the endings for these episodes are just kind of like, oh, really? It's ending like that? That's it? It doesn't feel like a big enough ending for that episode. It seems like they're just kind of cutting and then moving on type thing. So the endings would be nice to be a little bit better, because the ending didn't really seem that big in this episode. So again, in the first part, it was just that he could fly and stuff. That was really cool. And then we find out that Whale shows up at Gammy's place while they're doing some Black Lightning type thing. Well, he's on comms with Black Lightning. That's interesting with that thing, how they're going to deal with that. He wanted to be around, and Gammy's Whale's trying to find out who Black Lightning is. Gammy doesn't give it to him. And then we find out that the Whales also has some sort of serum inside of him that's making him super strong and all that stuff, and making him live forever type thing, some sort of super soldier serum. That's really going to be cool to see that and where that plays off, and who ends up thinking that. It's probably going to be connected also to the Alan Pierce, Black Lightning's father, Jennifer Pierce's grandfather, and Anissa's grandfather too. It's really going to be cool to see where things go with all that and how things go with that. And they find out that, 30 years ago, 9 kids with powers were gone. And there's mention of Legionnaires. So it starts off, we hear the news, the video that she's watching on her computer. And it talks about Legionnaires, 30 kids are gone type of thing. So it is an interesting Easter egg. So it sounds like it's, there's some kids, 9 kids were disappeared and they're gone into the future. They're probably into the 31st future with the Legionnaires and stuff. And that was really cool with that. Because if I'm not mistaken, Black Lightning is not so much part of the Legionnaires, but his daughters, Thunder and Lightning, definitely are. So that could be cool to see if we get some sort of Legionnaire, the Legion of Superheroes joining this show. I think that could be quite interesting with that. But I doubt they want to do that. They don't want to go that route, since Supergirl is really doing that. Although Supergirl doesn't feel like they even have the Legionnaires on there. They don't feel like the Legionnaires to me. So I think it could be interesting to see if we get anything with this here and how things play along with these superheroes and how they find out. I think that could be interesting to see that. But I doubt that they're going to do that. I feel like they're going to stick a little bit more grounded, a little bit more realistic, instead of going with the whole Legionnaire superheroes type thing, which is a whole another thing to do. Whereas Supergirl, they're not staying super grounded. They've done characters like Mixoplex and things like that, so they're really going out there with their thing. So I think it's really interesting to see where they go with that. But I think it would be fun to get a little bit more Legionnaire teases and stuff with that. That could be fun, seeing different characters and see who they use, or would they use the same characters. We're going to use Brainiac 5, different version of Brainiac 5. Maybe they can get it looking right this time. They're going to use Mon-El. Doubt they'd use him, obviously, since he's used so much on Supergirl. But it could be cool to see different characters like, I don't know, Lightning Lad. It could be interesting to see that, see a different version. Maybe someone like that could come back in time and give Black Lightning and some Thunder, and give them some skills, some stuff like that. That could be cool. Giving them some future tech could be fun playing with that. So we find out that Jennifer had a fight. She wins the fight, and she gets in trouble for the fight and all that stuff. And again, at the end of the episode, they still don't convince me she was in the right the entire time. There's no reason to ground her type thing. Although the parents don't know exactly how it would happen, all that stuff. But it's just didn't make sense at the end of the episode. She was in the right, end of story. She didn't go too far whatsoever. She was in the right, end of story. And I just don't get where they're coming from with all that. But whatever. It is what it is. So there was that. That was quite cool. It was interesting because in the trailer it seemed like it hinted at there might have been some sort of powers being used for that. We'll have to wait and see if we get to see more powers with her. Like, there were some pictures of her. I remember some glimpses of her in the trailer for showing her hands and seeing her hands already getting powers. So it's gonna be interesting to see if we get to see Jennifer hinting at some powers by the end of this season. I feel like since we're not right yet, I mean, we're almost halfway through the episode. We still have one more episode. We're almost halfway, and that's going to be interesting to see if we get some teases whether or not Jennifer is going to get some powers. I feel like we'll probably get the teases at the end of the episode, maybe by episode 10, episode 13, we'll get some teases, and we'll get some stuff. So I think it would be fun to see if we're going to get some teasers. Maybe give us some teasers at the end of 13 or end of 12, and then we can have her using her powers, playing with them just like Jennifer was. Just like her sister Anissa, like, having fun with them in 13, and then that's when kind of she decides, that's when in the next season is when she's going to decide to use them and become a superhero herself. So that could be cool to that, because the people in the promoting this, the actors and all that stuff, have always said a lot of that. They're the first black superhero family, so I think that's really going to be interesting to see if that's a tease that they're a family. They're going to be, all three of them are going to be superheroes right away in this season type of thing. By the end of the season, they're all going to be pretty much set up. Maybe by the end of season 2, they're going to be completely all set up for that. So I can see that happening and see where things go with that. That could be quite fun for that. Then we find out that Alan Pierce was killed because of the story, because of the 9 kids that went missing story. So I think that's going to be interesting to see that. So it is interesting. It sounded like there were some Legionnaires references with that, with the 9 kids, but then we get the Alan and Pierce story, which kind of seems to me that, they're gone, but where are they gone? I don't think they're gone into the future. That wouldn't really make sense as to why someone would kill Alan Pierce over missing kids and all that stuff. Seems like they're missing a different way. We'll have to wait and see where that is. We'll have to wait and see where things go for that. That'll be quite interesting to see. And that is, and if I'm not mistaken, in here, Alvin Pierce was killed by Joey Toledo, the guy at the end of the video there, the guy who also shot, if I'm not mistaken, he shot Khalil, and he also shot the Reverend in last week's episode, not last week's episode, but the episode before that, and that was kind of interesting to see that. Although in the comics it wasn't Toledo. In the comics it was Gambi, and I know that from doing all kinds of research. Like I said, I haven't really read too much of Black Lightning, but I've done my research online, just looking at videos and stuff about the comics and stuff, everything you need to know, summarizing the comics and all that. So that's really going to be fun to see if they're going to go with the Gambi storyline, and clearly it looks like they are going to go with the Gambi storyline, that he kind of killed his father, Alvin Pierce, so we'll have to wait and see with that, especially with, Tobias Wells showing up at Gambi's place, kind of wanting a new suit and all that stuff. So it's really going to be interesting to see where things go with all that relationship there. And then we hear that Black Lightning finds out he's back and all that stuff, and he wants to kill him and all that. Then Jefferson passes out type thing from his, I guess he's sick type thing from the suit, and his powers are kind of weakening him. We've been seeing that going on throughout. That's kind of interesting to see that. It's going to be fun to see where that goes. We find out what this is. Maybe that could be a connection to the white stuff that Anissa finds when she makes her costume. She goes into the storage unit. That's definitely going to be interesting to see that. And then we see Tobias Wales kills his father, which was kind of interesting with that, finding that he has some kind of father issues. And it seems like they're really, the guys, the showrunners of this have really paid attention to the Defenders TV shows with the Daredevil stuff. There's a lot of things that seem similar with the Defender stuff, the Daredevil, with Wales having, father issues, just like Wilson Fisk did and stuff, and different things like that. Very similar to Luke Cage and Daredevil. I think that's quite interesting with that. Here, then we see Anissa makes her costume, and like he said, she go into the storage unit, finds the safe, and breaks in. Although the way she broke into that little safe within the storage unit was kind of weird, pulling out the thing, but it's a big, thick door that has 2 pins like that wouldn't work like that. It's a whole thing, so just bending it wouldn't work. It would have made more sense if she just punched her way through, and ripped the door off, or just grab the corner and just kind of rip the corners apart. That would have made more sense. Just the way she bent it didn't make sense to me. But her costume walking into the storage unit facility, it just didn't make sense. There's no one watching that. There's no security guards. There's no one in a control center watching security cameras. That makes no sense. No one would use a place like that if there wasn't security cameras. It just doesn't make sense in a place like this with the 100 gang all around. The 100 gang would be breaking into these things all the time, and if there wasn't security cameras all around. So it just doesn't make any sense how she was able to, in this crazy costume, just run around and do things and check things out like that. It doesn't make sense to me. It would have made more sense if she had kept that costume underneath, and then when she needed to, she could take the clothes off, take her hoodie off or whatever, and then be able to kick some butt. If she needed to fight anyone, then she could do it in costume, which she needs a better mask clearly for that, because it really doesn't cover any of her face whatsoever. So it's really going to be interesting to see where she goes with that costume. The way they do the costume looks kind of cool. Obviously, we know that that's not her full costume. We've seen that other costume out there. Like I said, it would have been cool to kind of keep that costume kind of hidden and just maybe release this costume. I think it would have been funnier, and I think it would have been really interesting to see. Is make everyone, obviously make people release the prototype costume and pretend that that's her costume for the season. But clearly, when you compare her costume to Black Lightning's costume, it's not going to be the final costume. I don't know, I just wouldn't have released the official full costume, since it seems like we're probably not going to get that for a while now. At least, not until like episode 10 or something. So then it's like, is that going to be their final reveal? Then why release it so early on before the season even comes out? Doesn't make sense to me with that. But then at the end, we get Joey Toledo and beats out Black Lightning, and he's able to just knock him out or get him injured just by kicking him. And it got me thinking about the costume. When it's powered out, doesn't protect him against anything. Like, is it with that, like, the costume only works when it has powered? I mean, it looks so like it has so much plastic and hard like surfaces and stuff that how can it not stop him from getting hurt from a kick? I mean, it didn't look like he was kicking that hard, and Joey Toledo does not look like a really big guy. Now, if he was, some big guy like Brock Lesnar or, huge guy, 6'5" type thing, and, like he was able to really, really kick hard, yeah, that would make sense. He weighed like 6'5" and weighed almost 300 pounds of muscle type thing. Yeah, that would make sense. It would hurt Black Lightning, but this little skinny guy who's shorter than him doesn't seem like, how could he damage him that much that he couldn't walk away to do that? Now, maybe it's a mixture. Hopefully we'll get into next episode. We'll pick right up and we'll find out that there's something about, it's not just the suit, it's also the fact that he's sick and he's having an episode type thing, and that's how he got away. I mean, it does look like that, or is that, but it just seems to me that the suit should be able to protect a little bit, and protect about something, so that if he's unconscious or whatever, that someone can't go at him. I mean, Batman has it in his suit. What was it in the Dark Knight? After when Batman's lying on the ground, the Joker goon goes after him, and his suit kind of shocks him to protect his identity when he's knocked out. Gambit didn't think of that, to put something in there, or just make it so that, if he gets knocked out, they can't just beat up on him and kill him with a bunch of baseball bats type thing. I mean, they got to expect that if he's in somewhere and he gets knocked out, they're all going to gang up on him with baseball bats, crowbars, whatever they can grab, and just beat the crap out of him. Now, obviously, it wouldn't be, probably not going to be bulletproof, but should be at least, cut resistant and maybe stab resistant, and some sort of withstand a baseball bat and kicking and all that stuff. These simple things should have protect him. So I find it weird that the suit didn't do that. So hopefully Gambit can upgrade the suit or make it out of better material, because looks a lot of plastic, a lot of heaviness that lights up. What does it do if it's not going to protect him when it's turned off, or when he's lying down, when he's unconscious type of thing? All kinds of stuff could happen. I just don't see why they don't have that feel safe in there. So other than that, guys, it was an interesting episode. Nothing super duper, nothing is really going to remember. It was just kind of an episode. We'll have to wait and see when things go with the rest of this. Definitely can't wait to see how things continue on from here. And I like the way things are going with Anissa and figuring out how her father's going, and kind of find the connection. They really can't wait to find the connection between her grandfather and how it connects to his father, and to Jefferson, and how it connects to him becoming Black Lightning and becoming powers. And again, I'd like to see, as we go into people's history and stuff, I'd like to see more about Black Lightning and finding out how long was he Black Lightning before. They keep on saying in the intro that he's 9 years since he last was Black Lightning, and I get that. But when he was Black Lightning, how long was he Black Lightning for? Was he Black Lightning for 1 year before, or was he Black Lightning for 10 years? Who knows? If he was 10 years, he spent 10 years as Black Lightning, stopped for 9 years, and then started back up. Or did he spend, 5 years? How much experience does he have from back then, and how rusty is he now? So that's what I really want to know. At what point are we going to have more years after the 9 years break than he did before the 9 years break, under his belt as Black Lightning? I think that's really going to be cool to find that out. I need to know that, just because, you need to know his skill level. I want to figure out how where is his skill level at? Does he have 20 years of practice or only 2 years of practice as Black Lightning, you know, and the mistakes and all that stuff. So really want to know how long that's going to be like that. So I think there could be 10 years there of Black Lightning, 10, 15 years of Black Lightning, maybe 20 at the most. Who knows? I think it could be cool to find out and need to know how much that is. And hopefully we'll find out when we do get future flashback episodes. If I'm not mistaken, in the comics, the flashback episodes to Black Lightning's father is killed by Gambi when he's only 4 years old, type of thing, or 4 years old or 9 years old type thing. So it would be cool to see if we get some flashbacks to that. If I'm not mistaken, we did hear some stuff about we should be getting a Gambi flashback at some point in this season, which would make sense to explain to where he got all these skills for all this stuff that he's doing here. So all in all, it was an okay episode. Definitely can't wait to see where things go, and I like the way the season's going from here. So let me know what you think, guys, about this in the comments below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
I'm Captain America, here to talk to you about one of the most valuable traits a soldier or student can have.
Subscribing.
Sometimes subscribing is the key to victory. Sometimes it leads to very little, and it seems like it's not worth it. And you wonder why you waited so long for something so disappointing. How many more of these?
You're still here.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Peace.
It's over.